Alright, welcome back. Right now we're gonna continue working on the FlameThrower that we worked on previously on this channel. And right now we are working on the high poly and adding a floating geometry. Probably you are wondering why we are doing this, and the answer is quite simple, because when we go to Substance Painter and start baking the high poly on top of the low poly, we want certain details to be added to the low poly version using maps such as the normal map in order to compensate for the lack of details. And the way, or the best way to do this, is to create these pieces on top of the high poly, and later we're gonna bake them on top of the low poly. Alright, so what I did just right now is I inverted the normals using the normal modifier, and we'll see how this is gonna work with this model. So we'll try to actually support the edges a little bit and try to apply the turbo smooth modifier. And from a distance, it does look like somehow it looks good enough for now. We'll see. And we will start to locate these copies, and to copy anything, just keep holding shift to do this. And as you can see, we'll try to make these pieces a little bit bigger, probably position them in a better position. We'll do a few tests to see what suits the situation better. And of course, you can do a better job than this actually, because you can always use a path and use an array, or use a path of, and kind of the method of distributing objects across paths, which is a good way, and it is a fantastic way of controlling the spacing between objects. Alright, so it is better than doing this manually. And I'm saying it is better, of course, if you have a big process of copying objects across surfaces of the same that are separated with the same distance. Alright, so I just copied this as an instance, and we are going to actually copy these all over the cylinder, rotate around. And the best way to do this is of course to change the alignment of the axes, and this is gonna give us more control and allow us to be more flexible as we rotate around. So as you can see, we need to do it one by one, because somehow in 3ds Max, when we try to do this with multiple objects, it doesn't really work, because probably somehow it is the axis or the pivot of one is gonna be exactly in the center, but the pivot of two objects is gonna calculate the distance between the two objects and the center we want it to rotate around. So that's why it's not gonna work mathematically. And right now also we are gonna copy, or as an instance of course always, because it is necessary if we want to make changes. The change will always follow on the other pieces, and will be replicated without having to change all the pieces manually. That's why we make sure to always use instances. So you know what, I just discovered that probably it should have been down here, not up there. Alright, which is looking better, I believe. Okay. And for the most part, this is looking awesome and interesting. And we're gonna try to add a little bit more details. This one is not a floating geometry. It is a button to push when probably it is the safety. I guess it is the safety. Just insert a little bit and extrude to create that button real quick, which is not really a big of deal anyways. Okay, so as you can see, even though it is not complicated or anything like that, but adding details across different areas of the model really makes it interesting and nuanced and looking good. For example, sometimes a wall, when you have a kind of a scene with almost empty room, and you just add to the wall like little details and kind of I don't know, small details and small little details that are not gonna, in the big scheme of things, are not gonna change too much, but overall it looks like it is fuller and kind of expressing more than leaving it empty. For example, here, as you can see, some of the big surfaces, empty surfaces that really are not filled with anything. When we fill them with these small details, even though they are not adding too much, but to the viewer, it's going to mean something. It is gonna feel different, very different. Even though, as I said, these small details are not really that big of a deal, but the impact is gonna be there. Alright, so I just copied this one here. It's gonna be on top, so rotate it, make sure it is 90 degrees, and we're gonna create 2 of these actually. So, and of course it is gonna be much thinner than this. To do this, we'll see how we are gonna it's better to actually make it small, as you can see that you can see here, and push these vertices forward, and these push them backwards or to the left, depending on from where you're seeing this. And of course, these are going to be also floating geometry. When it comes to this tube here, or this pipe, we are gonna try to make it the best way possible. I just applied the Super Smooth and collapsed it because it was severely low poly compared to what we want it to be. Also, we want to actually remove a little bit of these polygons in between, because we had a lack of polygons across the across this tube, not the size of the cylinder, if you understand what I'm talking about here. And also here we want to add a little bit of details. If this is not gonna be for a tutorial or something like that, I want to add infinite amounts of details, like in crazy detailed. It's gonna be mind-blowing, but for the sake and purposes of creating YouTube videos, we have to kind of stop at some point. Because to be honest, all the kind of the excitement and the joy and the it feels delicious when you start adding these small details that make it look really cool. I feel like the reward of modeling is, especially when it comes to complex things such as weapons and stuff, the reward is when you reach a point where you start adding these small details that no one is gonna see, or at least not consciously seeing, and pinpointing them, but overall they make the whole thing look fantastic. Like some of the weapons we see in video games, like Metro Exodus, and video games such as Doom Eternal. It's an amazing video game. If you are looking for inspiration to create weapons, just play that video game. It is fantastic. The weapons, they put so much effort into creating these sci-fi weapons. Also, Metro Exodus. These 2 games, I noticed, they just Metro Exodus came out in 2019, and Doom Eternal just came out this in March, just 10 days ago, and it is great. It is fantastic. The weapons are awesome. The gameplay is great, and also the music is out of this world. It is. I've never seen a game in my life that, with its music, adds too much, or adds that much to the game itself. Anyways, we are making weapons here, and this is not actually the same as the weapons that you're gonna find in those two fantastic video games, but overall it's a good way to get inspired to create more. Also here, what I am trying to do is kind of create a little bit of empty valley right there, kind of to add a little bit of more, kind of little bit of details. It's not gonna be, as I said before, it's not gonna be that great of an effort. It's not gonna take you that much of time, and when it comes to time and effort, but the impact is gonna be there. It's gonna feel like it is different. Okay, so I just borrowed this this crew from another project. I hope you don't mind creating it yourself, or just it's not gonna be that it's not gonna take that long. I actually brought the high poly with the low poly with me, so I just copy these two guys down there. Oops, where are you going? Okay, nice. So we are gonna copy these all over the place. Of course, as instances as always. Try to position it in places where you see that they are going to make a difference. Okay, good. If you don't mind, I am drinking my coffee in the morning. Hopefully I don't make some weird noises as I record this voiceover. Okay, so we're gonna apply the same trick that we applied previously on this this section over here, and it seems alright, so we are gonna actually select all of these, and we are gonna extrude them negatively to the inside, doing the same thing we have done when it comes to the previous piece that is attached to it, which is the which is around that area. Alright, so right now we're gonna work also on creating a cylinder on here to create those small pieces inside that this this place here, and we'll try to extrude some of these polygons. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It's not going to be that noticeable. We can actually not create it at all, which also is a valid option. You can just paint it over in Substance Painter, or just put it as a texture or as an alpha, and then paint it over, and it is gonna be very okay, because it's not very visible. Alright, so right now I just copied that polygon. This one is gonna be representing the glass, and it is gonna be transparent. For some reason I'm having trouble here just making this transparent. I don't remember why this is happening, but yeah, whatever. Okay, it seems like right now we are finished with the modeling, and we will actually call this the FlameThrower HP High Poly, and we are gonna actually copy it, and let's call this the FlameThrower underscore LP, which represents the low poly version. Of course, these two versions are not gonna be the same, because one, as I said before, is gonna be for the high poly, one is gonna be for the low poly. And for the low poly, we are definitely going to downgrade it and make it have less polygons. But for the high poly, we are actually gonna add more edges and polygons to support everything and make it look beautiful and smooth and everything. Of course, this process is repetitive, and probably I'm not gonna have very much to say about this, other than the common practices and the best practices, and what to do to finish this successfully. Usually, I use the Swift Look tool, which is a fantastic way that was created, I believe, in Max version 13 or something. 2013 or something, and it is great. It is nice to use, and it is very it helps a lot, especially in adding this type of thing. And you can actually also use techniques of, you can use quad chamfer and some tools that you can use to do this, some modifiers that can do this, but for the most part they kind of don't really give you 100% control that you're looking for. When it comes, I sometimes use that, but when I'm creating a tutorial, I try to keep it clean and show people the basic things that deliver better results and controlled and guaranteed results rather than something that is a little bit demands more flexibility and require you to know exactly what you're doing to get it right. Alright, so as we apply the Turbo Smooth, you can see things look nice. It looks nice. Fantastic. Okay, and the thing is, it's not gonna take that much time to do it either, because it's not a big of deal. Once you actually learn how to do or how to add these support edges, it's not gonna be a big of deal at all. Okay, we are gonna close this, collapse, Turbo Smooth. Here we are. Nice. But the thing is, it's gonna be sometimes depending on how big the thing you're creating, it's gonna take longer. All right, so don't expect it to be it's kind of to be really quick and easy. The hard thing about the adding support edges and stuff, it's actually the effort it's gonna take to do it. Not that it's hard, not that it is hard, but it's gonna take a little bit of your time. And also, it's gonna be repetitive. This is probably also something that makes it a little bit kind of hard from that perspective. Sometimes you just add kind of Turbo Smooth and see if it just works from the first time. Just do that. Don't add too many details and try to make it perfect. Especially if the piece is small. It's not gonna really add that much. Also, you need to find ways to automate the process and kind of be smart about it. We still have those weird kind of broken polygons in between. We can get rid of those using this. You just target well these vertices, as I'm doing right now, to clean it up a little bit more. Sometimes it is gonna be manually. It is gonna be easy. Sometimes you are gonna find ways to automate these processes, and these actually come with experience. Also, sometimes I do make sure that I am showing you guys everything I do, because trying to use the sneaky tactics and the ninja techniques sometimes isn't great for tutorials, because you don't really want me to uh, kind of do things without explaining what I am doing. But as you can see here, we used very simple things, very simple practices, and the results are good. Alright, so convert this to editable poly, and here we are gonna actually get rid of the interior, because it's not really adding that much. So loop and select the element and delete it. And when we start adding the floating support edges, it's gonna look even better. Alright, we'll add the turbo smooth, and we are gonna end up with something like this. Okay, great. When it comes to this piece here, we have, of course, to add few things, connect few vertices that are not connected, and try to keep it as clean as possible. Alright, so things are looking good so far. Some of the areas here need to be removed if necessary. Some of them, if they are too big, you can actually keep them depending on what you see. All right, this section here is also needs to be supported somehow, and or deleted better. When we have a surface deleted, actually it's gonna look way better. I mean, the other areas around it, they're gonna look fantastic, because we don't have the strain of pulling from the other sides. Okay, so as you can see, this is clean, very clean. This one is going to be real quick. And some of these small pieces are not really going to be something that we need to think about twice. Just apply the turbo smooth and you will be ready to go to other pieces. Alright, this one also is very, very easy to do. Okay, this one is gonna be probably, we're not gonna get the best results here, but we'll see, we'll try. Not the best, but actually we're facing the same problem, which is what we've been facing before on that in the back end of the weapon. Okay, we're gonna fix this like that. Alright. Things look clean. Alright, target well these vertices in order to keep sometimes the same edges that are supporting and making our model look better, they are making it look weird and realistic in other areas. So we have to limit the effect, or where these edges are taking place. And in the future, probably when we work on something like complicated like this, I'll try to use I will not use probably this support edges method. Okay. Nice. So keep doing this until we go in this direction and continue that part as well. Okay. And of course, this is going to be something that we need to work on even further when it comes to supporting the edges. Test it once, see if it is going to be perfect or not. And then, actually, there is something wrong with 3ds Max, the version I'm using right now. Probably because of sometimes when I install it, it's kind of, I see some weird things going on. You can just reinstall it or use another computer or something like that. It just works fine. It's weird. It's also one of the mysteries of the universe. The same software, but when installed on another computer, it works differently. Okay, so keep doing this. This is going to be one of the probably the most complicated tutorials on this channel so far, and it is already taking a long time. Probably I'm gonna spice it up in the next few weeks with more tutorials and different styles and different things that we are gonna work on. And hopefully we will work on more stuff together. So I hope you found this part useful. If you have something probably to comment or to add about this, please leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you want to become a Patreon, you are very, very, very welcome to do so. And every dollar you donate to this project is gonna be helpful and help us create more content for you guys. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next part. Thanks.